Hey, what's good, family? Thanks for pressing play on another Bite Down Boxing video. I'm just kind of freestyling. I didn't really do. I just really wasn't compelled to do anything on the outcome of Porter and Ugas from Saturday night, the PBC on Fox main event. Really didn't care for the fight. The energy in the stadium was bad, as you can see. The Dignity, whatever, the formerly the Stub Hub. Uh, and then I just thought the main event was kind of a trash fight coming on the heels of the Ramos and Francisco Santana fight. And so I just got 3 points, man, that I'm going to get into. Like I said, I'm just messing around, bought some new equipment, and was kind of, let me get this out of the way. But bought some new equipment, man, and was trying to get more onto my live stream bag, get into that a little bit more regularly, and just work my channel. So thanks for anybody that subscribed recently, and I know I had a lot of content out there on the events from the last couple of weeks. So appreciate that. Appreciate any feedback, any comments, any like hits, all of that, all of that. Appreciate that. This is kind of like I said, I got 3 points on it, and it's kind of influenced by this Ghostface. Ghostface Killer is one of my favorite rappers, and I feel like one of the most overlooked joints in hip hop history is this "Never Be the Same Again" cut with Ghost and Carl Thomas, and it's just awkward. That connection is awkward for one, but then the track itself is like something there's nothing. Maybe Method Man and Mary J's "All I Need" the remix might be similar to the vibe of "Never Be the Same Again," but I mean it's like an R&B joint with Ghostface doing all this this outlandish ghetto stuff, in the video. So, but it's a verse in there at the end of the second verse, I believe. Ghost says, he gets all emotional, which is one of the things I like about Ghost. His honesty and his vulnerability that he displays in some of his storytelling, especially with relationships. But he says something, I put money up and I'm hating. And he just, it's very rarely do we admit when we're hating. And that's what I was getting at. But I'm hating here, with Sean Porter and the outcome of the fight and just the fight itself. And if we go back to Spence and no, if we go back to Garcia, who was that? Garcia, yeah, Garcia and Porter, and Porter was like, Jim, that's the easiest fight. That fight is so easy to make regarding a potential fight with a unification fight with Errol Spence Jr. And just the way that he said it, and that should be a meme or something on loop. The way that he put that out there that he would fight Spence next, when we knew, if you're paying attention, you knew there was no chance in hell he was fighting Spence next. But this year's schedule comes out, and his opponent is you guys at the beginning of the year, Jordanis, you guys, and I had to move on from. There was really, I didn't stay very long on being disappointed that there was no fight with Spence, because that was highly unlikely. If I was being honest with myself. But like I said, the way that he said it at the end of that fight, with I believe Spence was in the ring, and it just never came to fruition. And there was really no effort. There was never no effort to even really put that fight together. So, which is something I may get into in a Spence comment on another video. But Dennis? Ugas had done all of this hustling to get into this fight, and he saw very early on that he could take Porter's power. That was of no concern to him. And then he just done he for 7 or 8 rounds he does something uncharacteristic in taunting and mocking Porter, and doesn't force the issue and does nothing that we saw with his wins against. What happened there? I guess because I'm not using the software on this program. I'm just going live. Anyway, tech stuff. Sorry about that. But just nothing that we saw against Brian Perella, Jamal James, the Robinson cat. Just nothing super aggressive. Okay, now we just tripping. I might. So anyway, now I might have to do this like this, and that's not what I was looking to do. I'm not using this software for this gimbal that I'm using, and I guess maybe it's getting mad that I'm not using that versus just the YouTube app. So sorry about that. So I might have to cut this short if it continues to do that. But so the first thing, I'm consistent. I knocked Wilder and his missing and his wild punching in the Fury fight. And I gave that fight to Fury. I scored that for Fury. And here in this fight, a lot of what Porter was trying to do when he did get inside and when he did get the mid-range, he was missing badly. And to me, that spoke that he had no comfort in really banging with and standing inside and trading. And he said it. The game plan was to stay outside, box, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, and it makes sense, and I can buy that. And, you know, for those that were a fan of that approach, cool. You know, if that worked for you, cool. Same thing with Wilder. If you could overlook his wildness and him missing badly all the rounds that he missed, and you gave him the fight based on the two knockdowns, et cetera, cool, I can buy that. But for me, like I said, when I sit here and I don't even recall, I didn't even hang around to get the accuracy and the punching after the decision. So my bad on that. But a lot of the action, this is really pissing me off. A lot of the action was him missing badly. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up now that I gotta do this. But was him missing badly all night. And then on top of that, with a lot of the exchanges, it's almost like he was throwing punches and backing away, trying to get out of the pocket or trying to get out as he was throwing punches, which is something that I don't favor when any other fighter does it. When you're halfway throwing a punch, but as you're throwing it, you're pulling out or pulling away. Wasn't a good look for me. This just was not a championship performance for me, in my opinion. Point number 2. You mean to tell me that the dude with the short arms and the noticeable height disadvantage, he's going to sit here and box on the outside all night long, or quite a bit from outside. You mean that he's going to do that all night and win and be inaccurate in doing it? I do knock you guys, like I said, for not forcing the issue, for not trying to walk through him maybe the way that Porter walked through Polly when he destroyed him. And granted, Porter is nowhere near at that place where Polly was when they fought, when Porter and Polly fought. But still, I just was amazed that you guys, being a fan of the sport that he is and having this big moment, that you would let it go like that. So that's a knock against you guys. Last point. What's next? And it's no hate to Porter. I figure at this point, he's going to maximize his earning opportunity. There's no chance for him to move up to super welterweight and do anything up there. You don't necessarily want to fight these guys. Same thing, I think he got from Floyd. You hurt people. And I think it was unfortunate between him and for Keith Thurman that as Floyd was exiting the game, neither one of those guys got an opportunity to fight Floyd for that laugh for fight 49. And Berto was selected. And Porter and Thurman had done everything to make themselves pretty enough for that opportunity. And, you know, being undefeated, I believe, at that time, and having the right wins and you know, filling out their resume and trying to bring up their popularity and whatnot, their status in the game. They did all of that, and to no avail. They didn't get that call. And now here it is. We don't see Thurman wanting to fight Spence with no real urgency. This thing is tripping. And we don't see now we just, Porter gets this fight, and of course you call out Thurman. They mentioned something about Spence, but I don't believe that. You had the opportunity to do Spence right now, and you went in a different direction. So I just think, and to cap this off, to close this out while this gimbal is tripping, it's a new guard coming through with the Ennis boy out of Philadelphia, with the bull out of Philadelphia. I don't know if Teofimo Lopez, how long he'll stay at lightweight and what he does at super lightweight. Haney, I don't know how all these guys are just, they're ambitious and they want to get up to welterweight where the money is, where they see the money being. So I assume some of those guys will try to run up there, maybe not in the fashion of Adrian Broner, but this next wave is coming. I don't know about the kid out of the pretty boy Josh Kelly cat out of the UK. I don't really know what he is just yet, but it's a new era coming, and it'll just be interesting to see what somebody like Porter, because he's a champion that nobody really wanted, if we're being honest about it. And then he fought a guy that nobody wanted to be champion Saturday night. So that was kind of a wash in my opinion. But look, I just came on here, like I said, to cook for a minute. I thought I could play around, but I'm learning something, that I can't use this YouTube app and this gimbal. I have to use the app for the gimbal if I want to do anything, which doesn't allow me to go live and defeats the whole purpose. So I have to use this fixed one over here. Anyway, that's a little gear talk. Hey, let me get on off of here, man. Fight night is coming up. It's getting upon us. I might have one more Errol Spence Jr. thought that I want to get out there before fight night. But, I pretty much spoke my piece on that. And but I might do some just a couple of little check-ins before fight night. So if we don't holler, I don't know if I do a podcast this week. But, hey,